Gather your family around for one last Sunday dinner. The Walking Dead season premiere is finally here. It's gone. We're in mourning. We're all very sad and kind of grossed out. Let's go through this together. Coming up next on Dead Inside Live. Hey everybody, I'm Alex Zalbin, joined by Liam Matthews, who is smarter than a smack in the head. Liam, how are you doing today? Are you holding up after last night's episode?
I feel like my head got ripped off when I was hanging from a chain off a bridge.
Oh, spoilers. Okay, let's put up our spoiler alert before we go any farther. If you guys tuned into this, you probably know we're going to be talking about the Season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead. But turn away if you don't know. Also, get off the internet for just a little while.
It's going to get ruined for you.
Yeah, or we're going to ruin it completely. We want you guys to send in questions, though. Facebook.com/TV Guide, hashtag TVG Live on Twitter. Send them our way, and we will answer them throughout the show. Not just what happened in the episode, because we got some inside info from Greg Nicotero and Michael Cudlitz coming up, right, that we can talk about. But not only that, but we're going to talk about what's coming up next, because there's some big storylines happening. Well, let's get into it. Let's discuss the deaths, because this is what everybody's talking about today. First, I think we'll just get it out of the way. Abraham dies, then Glenn dies, double death. Let's talk about Abraham's death. This is the one we kind of expected this to happen, but how'd you feel about this, saying goodbye to Abraham?
I thought it was effective. You know, it wasn't, it was terrible.
Turns out it was real bad.
Yeah. I didn't think it was, I mean, obviously it set up Glenn's death later to come, but, you know, I thought it was a good send-off for Abraham.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, at least at the end, he said, he got one last good line in.
Yeah.
He said, suck my nuts. I overheard you on the phone asking him about this. Do you want to tease what you found out about?
I asked him why he said, suck my nuts, and not another, you know, sort of more common phrase.
Yeah, we're jumping around it for content restriction reasons, which we don't really have, but you guys know what we're talking about.
But, and he said, he gave a really great answer as to why.
Well, what did he say?
Well, he said, Abraham, he says, he never says exactly what you expect him to say. He always says something just a little bit surprising, which that's what that was.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm glad, I mean, both of them got a send-off phrase, which was really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, as nice as you could get with watching people being bashed to death with a baseball
Just going,
bat. Yeah,
it was horrible.
Oh, it's so horrible. Abraham's death was bad. I was writing the recap at the time and going through it, and I kind of had an inkling of what was going to happen, but I thought, oh, Abraham died kind of the same way Glenn died in the comics. That was not too bad.
Yeah.
Then we got to Glenn's death. That was bad.
It was horrible.
That was gory and gross, and if you don't want to see this, please turn away if you're watching right now. Too late. What did you think about this? What did you think about the makeup prosthetics and the way they vividly showed everything?
I mean, it was one of the most, maybe the most gruesome scene I've ever seen. Like, I mean, there's like HBO, but this was like HBO level gore.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, it was a lot, but it was exactly how it happened in the comics. Like, it was, oh, that's so gross.
Yeah, that's horrible. I think I was looking down at that point.
Yeah.
That's...
Like,
Here's what I think. Everybody was super upset about it, and I totally get that. It's sad to say goodbye, not just to Glenn, who's a great character, but Stephen Yeun, who is a great actor and beloved by everybody on the cast. But if they hadn't done it exactly how they did it in the comic, we've been expecting that for 4 years since the comic was released. So, of course, it was going to happen that way. It had to happen that way.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Yeun even said that. He was like, don't give it to anyone else. During Talking Dead, he was like, yeah, I want that to be me. Like, it has to be me.
Now, you talked to Greg Nicotero, who directed the episode, about the balance between doing special effects like that and doing emotional moments. What did you have to say about that?
It was interesting, because he is a makeup wizard. Like, that is his thing. That's always been, he said, that's always been what he brought to The Walking Dead. And so, you know, or doing this emotional direction, like managing the emotions on the set and, you know, bringing that out of these actors, he said that was a bigger challenge, really, and, you know, ultimately more rewarding. But he said he felt just as shell-shocked as the cast did when it was over.
It sounds like it was the most grueling shoot to do because, as we know, they filmed the scene overnight about a year ago at this point, right? And then they came back and refilmed the scene multiple times to do those flashbacks to Maggie getting killed and Eugene getting killed. So they were living in that emotionally and physically for a really long time. That's rough.
Yeah, I have to double check if that's really true, though. They might have shot it all in November and just lied about. Because he did say, he's like, yeah, we lied about everything.
Oh, man, those guys. Michael Cudlitz lied to my face.
He lied right to your
Here,
face.
I feel like I can say this right now, right? We had Michael Cudlitz came into the studio. This is before the cameras roll. I just asked him very casually, how are you doing? Are you guys exhausted? Because they're doing the whole press tour. He said, oh, man, we've been, filming down on the set, and then we come up here and do the press tour. And to me, that was very confusing because I was pretty sure he was going to die, but I thought, you don't need to lie to me off camera. That's all right. You don't need to put in that info. That's fine.
Yeah, no, and he talked about that. He was like, yeah, I was moving around. I was going to all these, like, everybody I would see, I would either say, like, oh, I just got in town, or, oh, I'm leaving in 2 days. Yeah. And so, like, he said he was going to the gym, and the guy at the gym was like, I've seen you here too many days in a row. He was like, oh, I'm going out of town next week. And then he would go to another gym across town to throw that guy off the scent.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I'm glad they're past that. We also got past that to what, surprisingly to me, was probably the most controversial moment of the episode, given that we watched two people being beaten to death vividly with a baseball bat. But Rick is being broken. He's breaking Rick Grimes by Negan. Negan's trying to break him down. He can't do it, no matter what he can do. So Negan takes him into the clearing, puts guns to everybody's head, and then holds down Carl, draws a line on his arm, and says, okay, here's what I'm going to do. You cut off your son's arm, and I won't kill absolutely everybody. And Rick almost does it.
He had snot pouring out of his nose.
Oh, my God. Andrew Lincoln in this episode was so destroyed. Yeah. It was so... That, to me, was actually the hardest thing to watch.
It was horrible, yeah.
So what did you think about the scene? I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, nope, this is it, I'm out. That was the moment, not the deaths. How did you feel about it?
I don't know. I kind of felt like I said
you liked it? You hate
I was totally into it.
Yeah.
No, I thought.
Chandler
I don't know. I thought since Abraham died, Rick was taking on the sort of Abrahamic role in the biblical sense of sacrificing his son.
Oh, that's a good reading of it. I like it.
To a vengeful God, who then says, "Don't do that." So I thought that was sort of a nice biblical allusion.
Yeah, that was a rough scene to watch. The thing that I thought was most interesting about it, though, was Carl's reaction. Yeah. That Carl just says, just do it, Dad. Yeah. Not in an annoyed way. I guess I probably did it a little more annoyed here. Yeah. But Carl is the one who he's incorporated this world into himself. Yeah. He's become part of this world, and he understands it even better than Rick does in a certain way. All right, I want to remind you guys, if you got questions, tweet us, #TVG Live, send them into facebook.com/TVGuide. We're going to get to them by the end of the show, so keep them coming in, not just about this episode, but what's coming up. Yes, type them on your computer matrons. There you go. But let's talk about a couple more aspects of the episode. Maggie stepped up in a real big way at the end of the episode. Now, when I talked to Greg Nicotero, he talked about perspective in the show and how hard it was to keep everything in Rick's perspective for most of this episode. And right before the scene that we're watching right now, Rick's perspective cuts out. And we basically moved not just to the group's perspective, but to Maggie's perspective. Right. So what do you think? Is she the one to watch? Is she the hero to look out for the rest of the season?
Oh, absolutely. And I think season 7 is going to be Maggie's season. Because I think you wrote this, and I thought this was a really good read on it, was that she now has nothing to lose, and that makes her very dangerous.
Yeah, I think this was Negan's big mistake, frankly, is that he's encountered groups like the Hilltop, where you have somebody like Gregory, who is a weak leader, and he cows down Gregory, and then everybody bows down before him. But Rick isn't the only leader in the group. He's been training Maggie for all of season 6 for this moment. She's lost Glenn. She's, let's be honest, probably lost her baby at this point. Who knows?
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not, but, she's got the baby sickness. So something's going on with her, but she's going to step up big time. Yeah. And I'm excited to see Lauren Cohen play all of that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the last thing that we want to discuss before we get to your guys' questions about this episode, and I see some of them are coming in already. Let's talk about Negan. We only got to see him for about 10 minutes at the end of last season. Do you think he's an effective villain at this point? We essentially spent the entire episode with him.
Yeah. Honestly, so far at this point, I'm a little underwhelmed by Negan.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about how charismatic and how menacing and how all this, you know, he is. But, like, he seems kind of one note so far. Like, he's not, I mean, he's charming. I guess, you know, he's charming. I mean, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is...
handsome man.
He's an incredibly handsome man.
Yeah.
But, like, we've only seen him do, you know, like, I haven't... nothing in that was, like, made me feel like, oh, I want to get to know this guy better. Like, this guy, he's a powerful leader. I just saw, like, this guy is a sadist.
Yeah.
Which, there's a long tradition of sadists on The Walking Dead. It didn't really feel like it was breaking any new ground.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, monsters go on the show.
I agree with you for the most part. The most interesting thing, or the weirdest thing for me, I think, was his plan was strange. That coming in, killing, you know, one person and then leaving and leaving them with the wreckage is almost more effective than taking Rick and dragging him into the trailer and trying to teach him some sort of complicated lesson. To me, that felt like a step down in terms of what he was doing. It almost felt petty in a way. It felt vengeful. I don't know. So that said, I understand why, as an episode, they needed to get to a point where Rick was totally broken down and totally destroyed. I get that. But Negan spending so much time on Rick didn't make a lot of sense to me, even if it was one night.
Yeah.
One gorgeous, beautiful night.
Very misty night.
Yeah, it was. You've talked to Greg Nicotero a couple of times about how he works on Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando.
Yeah.
To me, that felt like, oh, cool, this will be a fun thing to walk through, and mist and zombies and everything. All right, let's get to your guys' questions. You've been tweeting and sending them in, facebook.com/TVGuide or hashtag TVGLive on Twitter. So let's get to them now. Morgan on Twitter says, what's next for Maggie? Also, was that not her ring in the ground next to Abraham's head? Let's talk about the ring first.
Yeah.
Because this was a big clue. Can you tell people what this was?
So the ring when they released the first scene, before the premiere,
right.
Eagle-eyed viewers saw Maggie's ring in the pile of brains I guess it was probably Abraham's brains.
Yeah. Brainbraham.
Brainbraham.
Yeah, Brainbraham.
And so they saw the ring, and then that was either Maggie or Glenn is what people assumed that meant. But that was not addressed in any way, and it sort of looks like, I don't know if maybe it just looked like a ring, maybe it wasn't actually even the ring.
It might have just been a weird
just
shiny
a rock that we wanted to see the ring so badly that we saw the ring.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know. We'll have to check it out. We'll have to pour over the footage once it gets officially released in HD. We'll go back to the Blu-ray and
frame
check it
by
out.
frame.
That'll be a special feature.
Let's
talk about the first part of the question. What's next for Maggie? We touched on this a little bit, but any clues, any inkling?
I think Maggie is going to go back and take over Hilltop, right? Wasn't that her
I mean, yeah, we're going to get spoilers
comics?
for the comics, but that's basically what happens. I mean, my suspicion, what they were setting up at the end of the episode, is essentially you have a Negan resistance force, right?
Yeah.
You got Maggie. Sasha is clearly on her side.
Totally.
Sasha, I think, was trying to recruit Rosita. You also had Aaron is always Team Maggie, so he'll be there, even though, I don't know. That's right.
Aaron.
Yeah, he's Aaron. He's cool. Ross Marquand is a really funny guy.
Yeah, he's funny.
There
Good
you go. So we'll
impressions.
be able to joke at him.
Yeah.
He'll be able to write some good material
Maybe
for Maggie.
maybe he'll take on the comic relief role.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think you're right. I think she's going to end up taking over Hilltop. I think she's going to have to take up the reins and the fight from Rick, who's probably going to protest her for a little
Rick is like, listen, I don't want anybody else to get killed. That's going to be his thing. We have to figure out how to survive. That's all they talk about. On the show.
Snot pouring out of his nose. All right, Morgan on Twitter says, oh, we already read that, Ron. I'm sorry. Did we just cut out of the feed? No, we didn't. We're back. Okay, Scott on Facebook says, how is Alexandria going to react?
I forgot all about Alexandria.
Right, there's a bunch of really cool people there, like Spencer and Father Gabriel.
Yeah.
Enid's in a closet.
Yeah.
Enid's going to get out of the closet. That's one way they're going to react.
Yeah, they're going to let her out.
Yes. The thing that's kind of strange about it is they had set up everybody at Alexandria as they were the last line of defense, right?
Yeah.
After everybody went out to go take care of Negan, they're gonna open the doors and just give up, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna like. They'll probably do some sort of resistance. There will be, some meetings where they discuss what to do, And, Maggie will say, no, we have to fight back. And Rick will say, no, we can't. He's going to kill us all.
All right, I think we have time for quickly go through 2 more questions before we wrap up. Kirk on Facebook, should the cast get awards, i.e. Emmys, for this episode?
I mean, they won't, but
Right.
The Walking Dead is just not the kind of show
Yeah,
that gets...
I was actually looking it up the other day, and since the first season, other than special effects, no Emmy awards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they
But
should...
Andrew Lincoln was fantastic. I mean,
He
he was
was-
the best he's ever been.
He was excellent. He
Yeah.
absolutely should be nominated for some sort of awards, maybe a Saturn Award or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. At the very least, give them a nice, Sunday night.
Yeah. I mean, he's still no Rami Malek, but...
Who has eyes that big? Glenn and Maggie's kid should get an Emmy.
For what? Best
Yeah,
kid?
Best kid. All right, last question before we go. Mallory on Twitter, should we blame Daryl for Glenn's death?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to feel the full weight of that guilt. He is going to eat himself alive inside, but I think ultimately he's going to use that to power himself to get back to Rick and the group and bring the fight to Negan.
Yeah.
All right, there
It's
we go.
going to be probably kind of a bummer to watch sad Daryl all season.
Oh
but-
my God. They're going to treat him like a dog, and everybody knows he's a cat who just lays on the porch and ignores you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to have Walking Dead coverage on TVGuide.com throughout the week and throughout the upcoming weeks, as well as our regular show, Dead Inside, where we theorize about what's coming up. So stay tuned for that later this week. And we'll see you. We're dead inside. You're dead inside. Please don't die.
Glenn is dead, and Abraham is dead for real.
For
Outside.
real? Michael
Outside.
Cutlitz died?
No, he's alive.
Oh,
I talked
okay.
to him
All
on
right.
the phone.
See you next time.